Earlier, we'll be discussing the state of organized business in Nigeria and the agenda for incoming government. With me in the studio right now, I have Dr. Muda Yusuf, the Director, Chief Executive Officer, Center for the Promotion of Private Enterprise. Thank you so much for coming and you're welcome.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Now, maybe we'll start with basically describing how business is in Nigeria right now. Maybe over the years has it improved? Because a lot of us want to jump into business. Some people are wondering how the big businesses are doing, or what is causing the is it the business atmosphere that's conducive for other people to come and invest? So, can you just give us a brief overview of the business environment, the business atmosphere in Nigeria right now?
Yeah, thank you very much. The business environment currently is very, very challenging. Challenging for all levels of businesses, and we have challenges across all sectors of the economy. We could segment these challenges into basically two. One is what I can call the macroeconomic challenges. That's looking at what you call the macroeconomic variables or factors. This includes things like high inflation, for instance,
Okay.
the cost of inputs, cost of raw materials, and cost of living generally, which also impacts on the purchasing power of the citizens. The inflationary situation has been very, very bad, especially in the last couple of years. Then we have this big challenge around our foreign exchange environment. The foreign exchange environment has had a very devastating effect on businesses as well as even the welfare of citizens. For a number of reasons, many of our businesses, especially those who are in production, had to rely on a lot of imports, raw materials, equipment, machineries, and so on and so forth. So when you have challenges in the forex environment, it affects their cost of production. Because what we are seeing is that we are seeing serious volatility in the foreign exchange market. We are seeing serious depreciation in the foreign exchange market. We have been experiencing a lot of uncertainty and sometimes even transparency issues in the foreign exchange market. So that has been a major issue. Then there is what we call even the structural problems in the economy. And when I talk about structural problems, I'm talking about things that impact on the cost of production. We talk about infrastructure, we talk about power, we talk about roads, we talk about the port processes, port infrastructure. So all of these things impact on productivity. It impacts on the cost of doing business. Then we have even regulatory issues. Some regulators in the economy are not too friendly as far as investment is concerned.
How do you mean friendly? What do they?
Yeah, friendly. I mean to be supportive of investments, not necessarily to the detriment of the quality of regulation, but at least to see investors as their partners. To come across as though yes, both the regulators and those that are being regulated have a common objective of making sure that we have a prosperous economy. Not coming with the mindset of headmaster pupil relationship, or coming with the mindset of that yes, we have a revenue target to meet. That kind of mindset are very detrimental to business. And of course you have larger issues like the insecurity, which has been affecting both those in production, those in agricultural sector, and the rest of them. That also has a lot of then of course we have challenges around some sectors that are very critical,
Like which one?
like the oil and gas sector.
Okay, so each sector has, of course, its own specified challenges.
Yes. There are sector-specific issues, which again going forward, it is very important for us to have sector-specific engagements.
Okay.
You can have what you call macro issues, macroeconomic issues that cuts across, like all these forex, exchange rate, and all of those things are cross-cutting. Then there are what you can call sector-specific. We are talking about manufacturing, you are talking about agriculture, you are talking about aviation, you are talking about ICT. Those things are sector-specific. and the challenges vary from sector to sector. So that underscores the significance of engagement, between those who are policymakers and those who are operators in the economy.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Your name, please.
Am I on to Radio 1?
Yes, you are.
Okay, I'm calling from Geneva, Switzerland. I'm the DG Mecca.
Okay. Thank you so much for calling in. Um, do you have any? Can you share us a word or two about NECA and its what it does, what the purpose of NECA in Nigeria?
Okay, I should want to go ahead now.
Yes, please go ahead.
I just want to comment to just contribute to the program that is ongoing.
Oh, okay. Go ahead then. We can hear you. Please go ahead. Hello?
Hello?
We can hear you, so go ahead.
Oh, thank you very much. First, just to comment on the schedule that is ongoing, that Sun City, Dr. Muda has actually laid a background for the conversation. But really, beyond the issues that we are discussing, beyond the challenges that we face, beyond the state of the economy currently, I think one fundamental issue that I also want to add is now that election is rounding off, now that the economy is ordinarily should take the front burner again. One major agenda or one major challenge that we want whoever is coming in now as to lead the incoming government, what they should look at, both at the federal and at the state levels, is the issue of who becomes what. Because no matter how beautiful the policy that they come up with, no matter how beautiful they sound, no matter how deep those thoughts are when the negotiation or the conversation they have with the economy, the fundamental part of it will be who earns what. So beyond the policies, we're also interested on who is leading what agency, who is leading what ministry, because those are fundamental factors that will determine the trajectory of the economy. As I said, a lot of things have happened. The contraction of the economy in the last few weeks due to the monetary policy of the government, and forex issues, over 700 million of $700 million from the airlines, foreign airlines, they couldn't repatriate their funds. All those things have the way of creating a negative perspective about the country within the context of foreign direct investment. So we're urging the government to take a deliberate look at how to support organized businesses moving forward so that this economy can get out of the quagmire that we currently find ourselves.
All right, thank you so much for contributing to the show and telling us a little about the challenges we're facing. So where does NECA come in all this?
Come again?
Where does NECA come in all this?
Well, NECA is the voice of business. We are the employers' representatives. We know where the shoe pinches employers. And as is accepted globally, out of even at the conversation that is going on at the ILO governing body now in Geneva, employers create at least 8 out of every 10 jobs that is created globally. So if you want to drive the economy out of the quagmire of lack of productivity, you want to address the issue of unemployment, you want to address the issue of revenue generation, the focus or your focus should be how will the employers in your environment, how will they sustainable, and how will businesses, how will they thrive. Because when the local businesses are thriving, that's when you can attract foreign direct investors. It's when the local businesses are sustainable and thriving, that's when they can expand and generate more employment for the teeming youth of Nigeria. It is when they are thriving that they can also help you to attract foreign direct investment. So it is less of what government says or what government do. It is more of the experience or the narration of your local businesses. That is what will drive foreign investors to your country. So NECA is the critical stakeholder within the context of the Nigerian economy because it represents organized businesses as a whole in Nigeria. Not only Nigeria, it also represents Nigerian businesses at all global forums, be it at the International Labour Organization, be it at Business Africa, be it at United Nations. So NECA is a critical stakeholder in the project that we call Nigeria.
All right, thank you so much for calling in and giving us that background. So Wale Ayori.
Thank you.
All right, we are still on NECA business, Voice of Business, and it's on Radio 103.5 FM. The number to call is 0813 331 3172. I really let I wouldn't pick up a lot of calls now because I really want our guests to talk and expand on what we are here for, basically. And then we'll pick up. I'll just give me in the next, just before the program ends, we'll start picking up calls. Now, our second guest has arrived in the studio today. She is Miss Victoria Nwadoka. She's a chairman, corporate communications and public affairs Technical Committee NECA. She's also the Corporate Communications and Public Affairs Lead at Nestle Nigeria. You're welcome. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Now, Dr. Yusuf was giving us an idea of what is going on. Hello? Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Is that Radio 1?
Yes, this is Radio 1.
Oh, good morning to you, Laomi.
Good morning. Who am I speaking with?
Well, you are talking to Dr. Apolari from Ayobo.
Okay. Go ahead, Dr. Folari. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good morning, Dr. Yusuf.
Good morning.
Please, I want you to weigh in on this employment trust fund issue. Is it taking into cognizance the Lagos model? Is it a model that other states can also key into in order to bring down the level of unemployment across the country?
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Folari. Let's listen to Dr.
Yeah.
Okay, go
Can I
ahead. Yes,
respond?
yeah, of course.
Yes, yes, I agree with you. It's something that other states can emulate. Because the whole idea of the Employment Trust Fund is to provide support for small businesses and sometimes for some micro businesses. And given the very strategic importance of SMEs, small businesses, micro enterprises in the economy, particularly from the point of view of job creation, promoting economic inclusion, stabilizing the social environment, you cannot give too much of a support, you know. So they deserve all the support. And so it's a model that I think other states should emulate. I mean, they give very cheap funds, single digits, sometimes up to a year, 2 years, which is good for the development of small businesses. So something I will recommend, you know, to all other states, at least to replicate or emulate.
Dr. Muda, when you started and you mentioned all the challenges faced by businesses in Nigeria, it was kind of a bleak picture, generally. As if, is it that the environment generally, the policies generally, are they that bad? Are they not so encouraging for businesses?
They are not encouraging. I'm not be frank with you. We are just getting along because we have very resilient entrepreneurs in this country. You know, people don't give up, irrespective of all of these challenges. Even in spite of all of that, quite a lot is happening in terms of the contribution of the private sector, you know, to the economy. But the point is that it can be better, particularly at a time like this. This is the time to be setting agenda on how we can improve on what is on ground. You know, from a policy perspective, from a structural perspective, from a regulatory perspective, and also from a reform perspective. So this is a very crucial time, and that is why I think NECA has put this together, so that we need to scale up engagement.
All right.
You know, very, very quickly, you know, on how to improve the business environment.
Let me come to Ms. Nwadoka now. From your experience, talk to us about some of these policies that you feel should be revamped, for lack of a better word, to make the business environment better for us.
Okay, thank you very much. I think one of the key things, if I'm talking about businesses now, will be an alignment between the monetary and the fiscal policies, right? Because you have those policies that seem not to be speaking to each other, but they are in the same environment. And so you're talking about ease of doing business, and yet there are some bottlenecks within the policy framework itself. Now we have all kinds of parallel markets and all of that, and then you have the monetary policies. Then you have the economic policies. Then you have the fiscal policies. There is so much of that going on. I think that the first thing to do is to really have an alignment in the fiscal policies. Now we've talked about employment right now. What are the support systems to help us create more employment? Is it in the way that we design the tax policies? I mean, look at all the reforms that were asked for, and when those reforms came into place, they seem to place more burden on the enterprises, on the entrepreneurs, on the small and medium scale businesses. Even global enterprises are struggling with those kinds of policies. So I think that if we put those in place, then that will help. I think that also the major thing to think about is not just what policies need to be changed. I think how do you design policy is the real question here. And this is a very good moment. Dr. Muda has said so. It's a change, it's a time of change, it's a time of reflection. We've come from somewhere, we've read the manifestos, right? And so whoever comes in, we know what the person has planned to do, all right? And we have somebody who has been named as the elect. So we see what those directions are, those policy, those business, those ideas that he has brought to transform the economy. Now, how do you design those? If you're designing a policy, if you're designing a system that is supposed to work for businesses, you need to engage businesses because we understand what the economy is. You need to engage the beneficiaries so that in the design itself, we are sure that it is implementable. I think that that's where we need to start from. All the policies that we have, sometimes it's not as if we have very bad policies, right? It's that in the implementation of those policies, what's the framework for putting them on the ground, for implementing
You
them?
mentioned a clash, some sort of in the
Yes.
different policies.
Yes.
Can you explain that a little more? How do if you are you saying that maybe we have two different policies that can kind of clash about the same thing?
Okay, so look at the fiscal policies. Look at the way that we are driving our forex engagements, so to speak. We're managing the forex environment, for instance. There's a policy that guides that, right? Now you come to the Ministry of Finance, for instance. You look at the fiscal policies that sit there. In some levels, you will see that this one doesn't seem to align with that, right? Okay, so if you talk about this is the way that we're supposed to run the economy, this is how the forex system is supposed to run. You put this here, you put that block there, you put this there. Now, in the implementation of it, the CBN has a different direction. How do you bring that together? How do you say, okay, you know what? This policy provides for businesses to have access. This is how you apply. This is what you need to do to get access to this. And you do that, and then it's not working. And then at the end of the day, you have the customs. This is the way that you're supposed to import your goods. This is the way you're supposed to document, to invoice, and then you process it this way. And then you come into the port, and that's not happening. Then, if you look at what are the provisions in this policy and what are the provisions in the other one, there are clashes in how this is supposed to be implemented, and then the frameworks for bringing them, for making them work for businesses, for making them work for the beneficiaries.
All right, let me go back to Dr. Modena.
Just
Moving
to add to
forward,
what,
okay.
just to add to what she said, a good example is what we call the trade policy example. The fiscal policy, we have a tariff book that outlines what products are prohibited from imports, what products are not prohibited. That is in the fiscal policy document. Now we have another parallel document from the central bank, which has a list of items that you cannot import. So sometimes when you even get to the ports, it creates confusion. Because when it comes to foreign exchange, you can't access foreign exchange because the CBN has come up with a list. When we are talking about the fiscal policy document, which should be a superior document as far as trade is concerned, these items are allowed for importation. So you have all this contradiction,
confusions, yeah.
confusion.
Okay, so let's
So we need to
let's talk
align all of these things. Yes.
a way forward. We have this obviously is a very broad topic, and we
Yeah.
cannot finish it just by what we're doing today. So you can tune in sometime from next week. We are going to be here every Tuesday at 6:30 to talk more about this. But let's quickly talk on way forward, very briefly. What are some of the your expectations?
For me,
instance?
the way forward is just to get it right with this transition.
Yes.
Yes, we are almost sorting out the political aspect of the transition. We should now be talking about the economic transition. And the starting point from now, even before the inauguration of the new regime, we should have a transition committee on the economy straight away, right from now, so that all these critical issues engagement can start in order to save time, because we don't have time. And if you are not able to fix the economy, many other things cannot stand.
Okay.
Either the social environment, even the political environment, security environment, all of these things rest on a very solid economy.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Muda. Sincerely apologize, but you see the calls coming in, but we have so much, we have this to discuss. But I promise you, from next week, you will have a field day in. I will answer your questions and we'll talk on your comments for us. But this is an introductory edition. We are introducing us to you and letting you understand what exactly we are here to do every Tuesday morning. But before we go, Ms. Victoria, let's have your own closing words very briefly.
Okay, I think I've said it before. I think that the first place, my expectation is that there will be consultations. There will be consultations with business. There will be consultations with the relevant stakeholders in designing the way forward. Before now, there have been recommendations made. There have been policy papers. There have been documents that have been placed before the government. I think it is time to re-engage so that we can bring all these ideas together. Where are your pain points? What are the possible solutions? And we can align on them. I'm expecting that there will be more consultation this time in designing policies and in designing the way forward. How do we revive our economy? You would have to take that consultations amongst us.
All right, thank you so much. The program ends at this point. Thank you so much to our guest featured today, Dr. Muda Yusuf, is the Director, Chief Executive Officer, Center for the Promotion of Private Practice. Thank you for coming and sharing your thoughts with us. And also Ms. Victoria Uwadokash is the Chairman, Corporate Communications and Public Affairs, Technical Committee of NECA. She's also the Corporate Communications and Public Affairs Lead at Nestle Nigeria. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be back here same time next week at 6:30 on Tuesday to talk a little more about our business in Nigeria, the state of business, and NECA business will be here for that. My name is Olaunmi Akonwo. I was produced by Adibukola Lawal. We'll be moving over to our network studios right now for the network news. Thank you.